You have been doing everything right. You wake up every morning, line up your supplements, swallow them faithfully, and trust that they are quietly protecting your body from the inside out. But what if I told you that for millions of people over 65, those supplements are not working the way they think they are? Not because they bought the wrong brand, not because the doses are off, but because of a silent biological shift that happens inside the body after 65. A shift that changes everything about how supplements are absorbed, processed, and used. And until you understand what that shift is, you could be spending hundreds of dollars a year on supplements that are doing almost nothing at all. I'm Dr. Hayes Anderson, and after 22 years in senior health, I've seen firsthand what nutrient deficiency looks like when it stays hidden behind a full supplement cabinet. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why your supplements may have stopped working, and more importantly, 5 specific changes you can make, starting today, that can dramatically restore their effectiveness. I have ranked these 5 reasons from least understood to most critical, and I need to warn you right now that number 2 on this list is one that even most doctors never mention. Stay with me all the way through. Here is what almost no one explains clearly enough. The supplement industry is built on one assumption, that what you swallow is what you absorb. And at 45, that assumption is mostly true. But by 65, the biology has quietly shifted in ways that break that assumption almost completely. The gut lining has changed. Stomach acid production has declined. Liver processing has slowed. The enzymes that unlock nutrients from supplements are working at a fraction of their earlier capacity. So the pill you are taking is the same pill it always was. Your body just cannot use it the same way anymore. And nobody updated the label. Most doctors working through a 15-minute appointment rarely have time to walk through supplement absorption science with each patient. The pharmaceutical and supplement industries have no financial incentive to tell you that the product they are selling you is becoming less effective with age. So the knowledge gap stays open. Seniors keep taking vitamins that are quietly losing their impact, year after year, wondering why their health is not improving. What I'm going to give you today is the information you were never handed. This is not about adding more supplements. It is about understanding why the ones you already take are not reaching their full potential, and exactly what to do about it. Reason number 5. Your stomach acid is too low to unlock the nutrients. This is where it begins for most people, and it is almost never talked about. Stomach acid is not just for digestion. It is the key that unlocks nutrients from the supplements you swallow. Vitamins like B12, minerals like calcium, zinc, and iron, all of them require an acidic environment in the stomach to be separated from their supplement form and prepared for absorption further down the digestive tract. When you are young, the stomach produces plenty of hydrochloric acid, but research consistently shows that by age 65, a significant percentage of adults have meaningfully reduced stomach acid production. Some have a condition called atrophic gastritis, where acid secretion drops severely, often without any noticeable symptoms at all. And here is what makes this worse. Millions of seniors are also taking proton pump inhibitors, acid-reducing medications prescribed for heartburn and reflux, which reduce stomach acid even further on purpose. The very medication protecting you from heartburn is simultaneously preventing your supplements from working. Let me tell you about Harold, 73 years old, who came in with persistent fatigue, weak nails, and what he described as a foggy quality to his thinking that had crept in over 2 years. Harold was taking B12, iron, magnesium, and a senior multivitamin. On paper, he was covered. But when we tested his blood levels, his B12 was critically low. His iron was borderline. His magnesium was deficient. He had been swallowing the right supplements for 2 years straight and barely absorbing any of them. The reason was his stomach acid, severely reduced from age and from an acid-reducing medication he had been prescribed years before. Harold was not failing to take his supplements. His body had lost the ability to use them. The fix here is not complicated, but it requires attention. For B12 specifically, switching to a sublingual form, a tablet that dissolves under the tongue, bypasses the stomach entirely and delivers B12 directly into the bloodstream. For other minerals, taking supplements with a small amount of acidic food, like a few bites of something with vinegar, can help create the acidity your stomach is no longer producing on its own. And if you are taking a proton pump inhibitor, that conversation with your doctor, asking about your B12 levels and whether your acid reduction is affecting nutrient absorption, is one of the most important conversations you can have. But low stomach acid is only the beginning, because even if your supplements survive the stomach, they still have to get past the second barrier. Reason number 4. The gut lining can no longer absorb what passes through. Once a nutrient leaves the stomach, it enters the small intestine, where it has to cross through the gut lining to reach the bloodstream. That lining is made up of tiny finger-like projections called villi, millions of them, and their job is to absorb nutrients as they pass by. In a younger gut, those villi are tall, dense, and highly active. In an aging gut, they have often flattened, thinned, and become less responsive. This is a normal part of biological aging that almost nobody warns patients about. Research has found that fat-soluble vitamins, D3, K2, vitamin E, vitamin A in its safe beta-carotene form, are among the most affected by declining gut absorption. These vitamins require both a healthy gut lining and dietary fat present at the same time to pass through the intestinal wall. And here is where most seniors make a critical mistake that costs them dearly. They take their fat-soluble supplements on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning with a glass of water, and they absorb almost nothing. Vitamin D3 is perhaps the most important example. By the time a senior reaches their mid-60s, their skin has already lost more than half its ability to convert sunlight into usable vitamin D. Deficiency is nearly universal. And yet, when D3 is taken on an empty stomach, studies show absorption can be reduced by as much as 60 to 70%, compared to taking it with a fat-containing meal. Eggs, avocado, olive oil, a small handful of nuts. Any of these alongside a supplement can be the difference between a vitamin that works and one that passes through doing almost nothing. The same principle applies to omega-3 fatty acids. Research has found that taking fish oil with a high-fat meal can increase EPA and DHA absorption by more than 300% compared to taking it fasted. That is not a small difference. That is the difference between a supplement providing real cardiovascular and cognitive protection versus a capsule your body largely excretes unused. Stay with me because reason number 3 is the one that most people find genuinely shocking, and it is one I have never seen explained on a supplement label, not once. Reason number 3. Your supplements are competing with each other. There is something called nutrient competition that almost no one in the supplement industry will tell you about, because acknowledging it would force them to rethink how their products are sold. Some nutrients, when taken together, actively block each other's absorption. They compete for the same transport pathways in the gut, and when one is present in high concentration, it crowds out the others. The most significant example involves calcium and magnesium. Both minerals use the same absorption channels in the small intestine. When taken simultaneously in high doses, they compete directly, and calcium almost always wins, leaving magnesium levels chronically low, even in people who are taking a magnesium supplement every single day. And magnesium deficiency is one of the most consequential nutritional gaps in senior health. It participates in over 300 biochemical processes, regulates heart rhythm, supports sleep quality, controls blood pressure, and plays a direct role in activating vitamin D. A 2018 study published in the journal Nutrients found that magnesium deficiency in older adults was associated with a 50% higher risk of atrial fibrillation, increased cognitive decline, and elevated chronic inflammation. And many of the seniors in that study were taking magnesium. They just were not absorbing it. There is also a significant interaction between zinc and copper. These two minerals compete for the same intestinal transporter. High-dose zinc supplementation, common in immune support products and many senior multivitamins, can significantly reduce copper absorption over time, leading to copper deficiency, which is linked to neurological problems, anemia, and weakened connective tissue. And iron competes with virtually everything: zinc, calcium, manganese. Iron's presence suppresses the absorption of all of them. This is why iron supplements should almost never be taken alongside a multivitamin containing these minerals. Meet Dorothy, 68, who had been taking a comprehensive senior multivitamin for 3 years, along with a separate calcium supplement and a magnesium supplement for sleep. She was tired, had persistent muscle cramps, and her sleep was worse than ever despite the magnesium. When we separated her calcium and magnesium doses, calcium in the morning with breakfast, magnesium alone at bedtime, her sleep quality improved within 2 weeks. Her cramps resolved within a month. The same supplements, completely different results. Nothing changed except when and how she took them. The solution here requires a small amount of planning. Separate calcium and magnesium by at least 4 to 6 hours. Take iron supplements away from all other minerals. And if you are taking a high-dose zinc product, ask your doctor about monitoring copper levels. Reason number 2, your liver is quietly failing to convert vitamins into their active forms. This is the one that stops most people in their tracks because they have never heard it explained. Swallowing a vitamin and having that vitamin work inside your body are 2 completely different things. Many vitamins arrive in the supplement bottle in an inactive form, a precursor, that must be converted by the liver into its biologically active form before the body can actually use it. And the aging liver does this conversion more slowly, less completely, and with less efficiency than it did 20 years ago. The most important example is vitamin D. The D3 you swallow from a supplement is not biologically active. It must first be processed by the liver into a form called 25-hydroxyvitamin D, and then processed again by the kidneys into the fully active hormonal form. If the liver is operating at reduced capacity, which it reliably does with age, and even more so if any alcohol, medications, or fatty liver changes are present, the conversion stalls. A senior can have a vitamin D blood level that appears acceptable on a basic test, while still being functionally deficient, because the active conversion process is incomplete. Folate has a similar story. Many supplements contain folic acid, the synthetic form, but folic acid must be converted in the liver into the active form the body actually uses. Researchers estimate that approximately 30 to 40% of people carry a common genetic variation that slows this conversion significantly, and that percentage is even higher in older adults. For those people, taking standard folic acid provides almost no benefit. The active form, methylfolate, bypasses that conversion step entirely and goes directly to work. Vitamin B6 faces the same challenge. The pyridoxine form in most supplements requires liver conversion to become active. And here is the danger point that must be said clearly. Taking high-dose B6 supplements when the liver is not converting efficiently means pyridoxine accumulates in its unconverted form in nerve tissue, where, at high enough concentrations, it becomes toxic. Research published in the journal Neurology has found that seniors taking high-dose B6 supplements had roughly double the risk of developing peripheral neuropathy symptoms. The very supplement some people take for nerve health can, under these conditions, make nerve damage worse. This is why the form of a supplement matters enormously, often more than the dose. Methylcobalamin instead of cyanocobalamin for B12, methylfolate instead of folic acid, magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate instead of magnesium oxide. These active bioavailable forms do not require the same degree of liver conversion, which means they are far more likely to reach tissues and do their jobs in an aging body. But there is one more reason, and it is the one that ties everything together. The single most overlooked factor in why supplements stop working after 65, and it is one you can address starting tonight. Reason number 1. Chronic dehydration is silently blocking every nutrient you take. Water-soluble vitamins, B vitamins, vitamin C, require adequate fluid volume to dissolve, circulate through the bloodstream, and reach the tissues that need them. Fat-soluble vitamins depend on healthy bile production, which in turn depends on adequate hydration. Minerals need water to carry them across cell membranes and into the intracellular spaces where they actually function. And here is the problem. By age 65, the body's thirst mechanism has dulled significantly. Research has consistently shown that older adults chronically underestimate how dehydrated they are because they simply do not feel as thirsty as younger people do. Many seniors are in a near constant state of mild to moderate dehydration, not enough to cause acute symptoms, but more than enough to reduce nutrient absorption, impair kidney filtration of toxins, and slow the circulation that delivers nutrients to every organ in the body. Consider Patricia, 71 years old, who came in after months of fatigue, frequent headaches, and stubborn constipation despite a consistent supplement routine that included magnesium, B vitamins, and vitamin C. Her supplement list was solid. Her diet was reasonable. When we reviewed her fluid intake, she was drinking fewer than 4 cups of liquid per day, mostly coffee, which is mildly dehydrating. We made one change: 3 to 4 additional glasses of water, spread throughout the day, consumed before and around mealtimes. Within 3 weeks, Patricia's energy had noticeably improved. Her headaches were gone. Her digestion normalized. The supplements she had been taking for months began to work the way they were supposed to, not because we changed them, but because we gave her body the medium it needed to actually use them. The simplest rule here is this: take your supplements with a full 8 ounces of water. Drink at least 6 to 8 cups of total fluid across the day, starting with a glass in the morning before coffee. And if you are taking diuretic medications for blood pressure or heart function, be especially attentive. Diuretics push fluid out of the body and accelerate the dehydration that blocks nutrient absorption. None of these 5 reasons are complicated in isolation, but together they explain why so many seniors feel like they are doing everything right and still not getting the results they are hoping for. The supplements are not failing because they are bad products. They are failing because the body has changed in ways that nobody explained. That is what makes this so important to understand. You have been faithful. You have been consistent. You have been trying. And the missing piece was not effort. It was information. The body you are living in today absorbs the world differently than it did 20 years ago, and the approach to nutrition and supplementation needs to reflect that. So let's make this practical right now. Here are 5 things you can start doing today. First, switch your B12 to a sublingual methylcobalamin form if you are not already taking it this way. It bypasses the stomach absorption problem entirely and delivers B12 directly where it needs to go. Second, take your fat-soluble supplements, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, vitamin E, and fish oil, with your largest meal of the day, one that contains healthy fat. Never on an empty stomach. Third, separate your calcium and magnesium. Take calcium in the morning with food. Take magnesium at night on its own, at least 4 to 6 hours after calcium. This single change can transform how much magnesium actually reaches your cells. Fourth, check the forms of your supplements against what we discussed today. Look for methylfolate instead of folic acid, magnesium glycinate or citrate instead of oxide, methylcobalamin for B12. These active forms are more expensive, but they are the difference between a supplement that works and one that does not. Fifth, start your day with a full glass of water before anything else. Take your morning supplements with water, not coffee, and track your total fluid intake until drinking 6 to 8 cups becomes automatic. This one habit alone can dramatically improve how every other supplement you take is absorbed. This is information most people never receive. You now know more about supplement absorption than the majority of seniors who are spending money every month on products that are not reaching their potential. That knowledge is genuinely powerful. Which one of these 5 reasons surprised you the most? Leave a comment below. I read every one, and your answer helps me know which topics matter most to this community. If you know someone over 65 who takes daily supplements, please share this video with them. Not for this channel, for them, because this information could make a real difference in what their supplements actually do. In the next video in this series, we go deeper into vitamin D specifically, why the standard blood test may be missing functional deficiency, the critical difference between D2 and D3, and the exact combination of nutrients that research links to a dramatically